Hello, Columbia, and welcome to City Talk, where we are here talking about great things that are happening in the city of Columbia. I'm your host, Leisha Yutzi. Today we're talking about a very great thing, which is recruitment and employment with the city of Columbia. In May, there will be a public safety job fair held that will focus on recruiting police officers, firefighters, and 911 telecommunicators. We have with us now Officer Henry Ford with the Columbia Police Department to tell everyone what they're looking for as they recruit new police officers. Thank you for joining us, Officer Ford.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Now, first of all, tell us about you exactly. I know you work for the Columbia Police Department. What is your role at the police department?
My role at the police department is the recruiter for the Columbia Police Department, and currently we're looking for police officers.
Okay. All right. So that's like a blanket statement, looking for police officers.
Yes.
If someone's listening and they have an interest, or if someone's listening and they know someone who is seeking employment or has an interest in law enforcement, exactly what are you looking for as far as age, qualifications, etc.?
Our minimum qualifications are that they be 21 years of age, they have a high school diploma or GED equivalent,
Okay.
they have a clean driving record, clean credit history, and that's our basic minimum qualifications.
Okay. And do they need any prior law enforcement experience?
No prior law enforcement experience at all. One of the things that I did leave off is that they have to have no criminal convictions.
Okay, no criminal convictions. Okay. And when they come to this job fair in May, can you share the date, time, location?
Yes, the job fair is going to be held May the 14th at the CPD headquarters. That's number 1 Justice Square. It's going to be from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay.
And I would like to add that we're focusing on police officers. However, we do have additional slots open in the administrative area in the police department.
Okay, so if someone's looking for an administrative position within a law enforcement agency, you're looking for those
Yes, as well.
personnel as well. Okay.
Yes, and I would have them go to the city website at columbiasc.net to view those positions that are available.
Okay. Now, say for example, someone is listening and maybe they're already employed, but they're looking for a career change and they can actually make it to police headquarters on May 14th. What else can they do as far as trying to contact you or contact someone at CPD about employment?
They can contact us at 545-3550. We'll assist them in any of the application processing, and we'll also advise them of what qualifications in reference to they currently have and which are compatible to what we're looking for.
Okay. Say, for example, someone is coming in, they get hired, but they don't have any qualifications or previous experience in law enforcement. Exactly what happens to prepare them for the Columbia Police Department and to function as an officer?
Currently at the Columbia Police Department, we have a initiative going where once a officer is hired, prior to them going to the police academy at Criminal Justice Academy in Columbia, they're going to be sent to basic candidate school.
Okay.
That's within the police department, and it will provide them the training necessary for them to successfully complete the Criminal Justice Academy.
Okay, great. So again, if you have no experience, don't worry. Once you are hired, you'll get a lot of training.
Yes.
And of course a lot of mentors. We have a lot of senior staff and other officers who are already employed who can share their knowledge and expertise as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Share that information again, because I know people want to know date, time, location. And again, if for some reason they cannot make it on that date or time, what can they do to reach out to you about employment with the Columbia Police Department?
Exactly. The job fair is going to be held again May 14th at Columbia Police Headquarters at from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. If they cannot make it at the job fair on May 14th, they can always go to our website at columbiapd.net and or call us at area code 803-545-3550, and we'll be glad to talk to them.
Okay. And now to close, how long have you been with the CPD?
I've been with the Columbia Police Department for 4.5 years now.
Okay. And what was your interest in law enforcement? Was it something you always wanted to do?
My interest in law enforcement has been primarily what a lot of officers get into law enforcement for, and that is just to better the community in which we live.
Okay. Well, you're a fine example to have in the recruiting office. That's
Thank
a good goal to have.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Officer Henry Ford, for joining us with the Columbia Police Department's recruiting office. Again, he has shared information with you regarding the May 14th Public Safety Job Fair. And if you have an interest in becoming a police officer, or if you have experience in law enforcement and would like to be a member of the Columbia Police Department, please come out and join us. Again, we thank Officer Ford for his information regarding recruitment efforts for police officers for the Columbia Police Department. And now we have with us Captain James Bostic, who is a personal friend of mine, and he is here to talk about recruitment efforts for firefighters with the Columbia Fire Department. And also tanker drivers, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, Captain Bostic, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
All right. First off, tell us, if someone is listening, is it worth their while to come out? How many positions are actually open for firefighters?
We have 37 positions open for probationary firefighters. We have 21 tanker driver positions open.
Okay, so a lot of positions to fill.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but I know there are a lot of people out there looking for employment and seeking opportunities to get into public safety. So first of all, tell us about the qualifications if you would like to apply as a probationary firefighter.
The minimum requirements for probationary firefighters: 18 years of age, no DUIs, no DESs, no felony convictions, and a Class D driver's license.
Okay, and also for your tanker drivers, what are the incoming qualifications?
Same, 18 years of age, no DUI, no DUSs, no felony convictions, Class D driver's license. Also must have prior firefighter 1 and 2 certifications, emergency vehicle driver's training, and pump ops.
Okay, so for the tanker drivers, they're a little more detailed as far as qualifications coming in.
Yes, ma'am, with advance. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
and just as a side note, does someone need a CDL if they're actually trying to become a tanker driver or applying for that position?
No, ma'am, you do not. The CDL, the City of Columbia, give you a special endorsement on your Class D driver license to drive a tanker.
Okay, and as far as these positions, normally people think they know what firefighters do. So if you can give us just a brief description of, you know, what a probationary firefighter would do, what's their job description, and the same for a tanker driver.
The job description of a probationary firefighter, we call them probationary. They do the same job as firefighters have been there for years, but they're on a 6-month probationary period where they're supervised by a captain. And their daily routine is, you know, upkeep of the fire station, running calls in Richland County and the City of Columbia, because we run a joint fire service. In the tanker driver position, their job requires them to do water shuttling operations in the rural areas and the Richland County areas outside skirts of City of Columbia. So their job, once the tone goes out, they jump in the tanker and they make sure that we have water at all times on the fire scene.
Okay, so really you're looking at a wide-scale effort of recruiting across the Midlands for both of those positions.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and speaking of, I know you said as far as probationary, they don't have as much, I guess, like experience as, you know, an actual seasoned firefighter. Yes, as a captain, how long have you been with the Columbia Fire Department?
I've been in the City of Columbia for 16 years now.
Okay, and you came in as a probationary firefighter. How did you get your start?
I came in as a probationary firefighter back in 1999.
Okay.
Yes.
So that means you're an example of how someone can come in and then work their way up through the ranks.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
You can work your way from probationary firefighter all the way up to fire chief.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm sure Chief Jenkins has told his story and shared it with a lot of members of the community, because that's the way he actually came in as a probationary firefighter, and he's been here for over 30 years.
Over 30 years. Yes,
over
ma'am.
35 years, 36 I think to be exact, and he actually started as a probationary firefighter.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to leave with us, especially the fact that if someone cannot come out to the Public Safety Job Fair on May 14th, how can they connect with you if they would like to apply or if they have questions?
Well, the website for the Columbia Fire Department is columbiarichlandfire.net. My city email address is cfdjbostic@columbiasc.net, and my office number is 803-545-3331.
Okay. And if you give that to us one more time.
columbiarichlandfire.net is the website. My city email address is cfdjbostic@columbiasc.net, and my office number is 803-545-3331.
Okay, thank you. That way if someone was trying to scramble and either put it in their phone
Yes,
or grab a pen or something, we've got that information.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Captain Bostic, is there anything else you'd like to leave us with regarding recruitment efforts for the fire department?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you for joining us. For those listening, if you would like to seek employment with the Columbia Fire Department, please reach out to Captain Bostic, or please come out on May 14th at the Columbia Police Department, No. 1 Justice Square. and the time is 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. The City of Columbia will be hosting a public safety job fair for police officers, firefighters, and next up we'll be talking about CRC 911 and the positions that they have open. Next up, we are talking about positions that are open for a 911 call taker and a 911 telecommunicator. We have wrapped up our interviews about police officers and firefighters, and we now have with us Heather Collins, who is the 911 training officer with CRC 911 Center.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I'm glad you could be here.
Thank you.
Well, Heather, tell us what positions are actually currently open with CRC 911.
We actually have two positions available, the first being the call taker. They are responsible for taking non-emergency and emergency calls into the center. We dispatch law enforcement, fire, and EMS. The second position is going to be a telecommunicator, which is responsible for physically dispatching the calls via the radio, and preferably we prefer prior radio dispatching experience for the applicants in that particular job.
Okay. Well, it sounds as if for both positions, if you're a call taker, you're looking for, I guess if you're listening and you want the position or you want to apply, you don't necessarily have to walk in the door with experience.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct. We are prepared to take entry level with no experience and train people to perform in this profession.
And for the telecommunicator, it's a little different.
Right. We prefer, and actually we will hire for telecommunicator with dispatch experience to some degree. If you do not have prior dispatch experience, you will not be initially considered for the telecommunicator position.
Okay. And I guess what type of temperament would someone need, or what kind of characteristics? Because to me, it seems like that would be it's a very serious job. It's vitally important. You're really handling calls that deal with life and death situations. So
that is very much the case. You do have to come in knowing that the citizens of Columbia and Richland County are depending on you, and it is your job to help them. You do have to learn, and that's part of the training. You know, people don't call us when they're having a good day. That's just not how that works. So you have to know that going in and be prepared to accept those situations and handle them as accurately, timely, and professionally as you possibly can.
okay, well, that's an excellent way to close out this interview. And thank you so much for joining us. And again, if you are interested in either of these positions and would like to apply, you may attend the May 14th Public Safety Job Fair at the Columbia Police Department headquarters at number 1 Justice Square, and that will be held from 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. And Heather, if you could share information if someone is listening but they can't come out on May 14th, how can they connect with you via phone, email, or website?
They can call into the 911 admin office at 803-988-8005. Also, if you're interested, the applications are on the city website under employment, communications call taker, or telecommunicator.
Okay, thank you. And our website is www.columbiasc.net. For all of you listening, please come out, or if you know someone who is seeking employment or would like to change careers and join the public safety team with the City of Columbia, please make contact with any of our departments in public safety, or you may reach out to the city overall at our main number at 803-545-3000.